fun. Well, I've been watching this every weekend anyways, and I was like, hey, I love what these people do. I hope that I can have a good time doing it too. So I got about 20 seconds until the game gets started, or at least the broadcast gets started for these people here at the LCS. So here we go. I'm gonna do my best to try and shoutcast the same way that they do, because I appreciate it so much. I got some music going in my ears to keep me all hyped and pumped and stuff like that. Hey, I know these people way better than when I tried to practice last week on the LCK, no, the LEC, which is a little bit different than the LCK or the LPL or any of that other stuff. This is North America, baby. Yeah, you got people like Impact, you got people like Grimmy, you got people like, I think that was Photon or something, maybe that's Blabber or somebody. There's a bunch of Lion, there's a guy that's Will, just kidding, that's Yawn. The people. Real personalities, real people. This is not AI. Anyways, I'm just trying to have a good time. So I was going to a wedding with Michelle, so it's just a coworker thing. But I was just thinking, hey, I got a day to myself. May as well have a good time. So I got a fidget. You know, I've been playing Minecraft all day, so no one's winning. Sorry, I got a little Paramore in my head. Anyways, these people are trying to get to Arizona, I guess, because that's like where finals are held. I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna have a mullet. Apparently, I was told last week at work, hey, if anything goes down, you take out the guy with the mullet first. And I was like, you don't have to tell me that guy's name. So they're all doing their walkouts here. You got the top laners, you got the junglers, you got the mid laners, you got the bottom AD carries, you got the supports. Hey, you got people like I'm not gonna try and speed through that. You'll see them. Oh, which way are we going? Which way are we going, Team Liquid? Which way are we going, Team Fly? From left to right on Flyquest, you got Gecko's Griffin sitting down just about now. I believe is either Quid or Quad. It's one of those two. Actually, this is both Quid and Quad in this game between Flyquest and Team Liquid. Is going to be Quad on one side and Quid on the other, and that's going to be making it real interesting, isn't it? And then for Masu's bot lane, of course, that would be Fly. For Fly's bot lane, it's Masu, and then Cryogen as the support. And on Team Liquid, top lane is going to be Morgan. Jungle is going to be Jose Diodo. And mid lane is going to be, once again, Quid or Quad. And then, see, I don't keep up that much, but I enjoy it. And then their AD carry is Yan. And then their support is, let me think about this one real hard. Oh, I hope I didn't get it wrong and say that Cryogen is Flyquest when it's really, it's Core JJ. Cryogen and Core JJ. I get them mixed up. These teams, I don't care which one wins. I'm not cheering for one in particular. I like them both, but neither of them, they're both middle of the road, not the best, not the worst teams. And I always cheer for the underdog. So really, I hope they win. You know what I'm saying? Hoping for a nice, clean fight. They're always using these analogies in these casts, like, oh, using swinging from the ropes type stuff, and got them down on the ground and they're pummeling kind of thing. I don't know. They use car analogies sometimes, real fun stuff. There's the think card. He's not thinking very hard, I suppose, but that's just because his name is like a card that thinks. Think card. And then, okay, so Quid is on Team Liquid and Quad is on Flyquest. There you go. And I was right. Cryogen was that on Fly's support and Core JJ on Team Liquid. So I feel like it's often the same champs being banned and picked and all that stuff, but that's just the way of the game. That's how metagames work in video games. It's just how it is. If you run down the middle every time on the football field, the line of scrimmage is going to get a little congested. So sometimes, like, if you're going for a Hail Mary, that's one option, but sometimes you got to go for that sweep outside. It is what it is. And so they do 3 bans on either side, and then they start picking their champs. And then halfway through the champs select, they ban 2 more on either side. So you're not going to be seeing any Mbessa in game 1. You're not going to be seeing any Karma, no Rumble. You're not going to be seeing any Ornn. You're not going to be seeing any Varus. From what I understand, Varus is one of the most banned currently in the pro scene, at least North America, if I watched and remember correctly. And then Seraphine, so of course Seraphine is often paired with Ashe these days, apparently. I guess it's the slow into stun type thing from, Ashe W and Seraphine E, but so the Orianna is going to be picked for Quid. See what I did there? And the counter immediately picked up its Cassiopeia. And with Cassiopeia, the Knock Wave is stolen from Team Liquid. So Griffin will be piloting a little Nocturne. And a flex pick, either Corey JJ or Morgan, are probably going to be playing a little bit of a Nivea here on the Team Liquid side of things. It's going to be real interesting if they have two control mages. No, 80 carries picked out, so Yon will be on a little bit of the Feather Girl, and the Feather Guy will be Corey JJ. The lovers duo in the bot lane, Zaya and Rakan. Of course, Teemo is definitely about to be chosen for real on the Rilla. It's a joke, of course. And so, yeah, looks like Gakgos will be on a carry, not on a tank. So you know that the Fly team is going to win for sure. 100% chance of Fly winning because Gakgos is on a carry and not on a tank. That's how it goes. That's the narrative. And then, of course, now they're doing their bans. So 4 more bans to come out, so it can be kept interesting. I've been watching Super Smash Bros. Melee videos on YouTube recently just for funsies. I don't really play, but I think it's interesting that they don't really have bans. They don't have a ban phase in their choosing. They just have mains, It makes me wonder if that's going to change ever. And so Yorick is being taken off the table for top lane for Morgan, whereas Fly's bot and jungle or whatever, has yet to be picked. Sorry, I guess AD carry and support are the only things. Probably going to be targeted here. So Caitlyn, of course, AD carry. You're not going to be seeing any Piltover Peacemakers or Aces in the hole. It'd be crazy if you could still see any of those, I think, Yordle traps or 90 caliber nets. That'd be crazy. And so, yeah, jungler not being picked on Team Liquid means that you're not going to be seeing a Wukong either. And the final ban, I'm guessing a Corki or a Nami personally, if I had to go crazy and guess. But that's just because nope, Senna. They don't want the crazy Static Shiv Senna. I don't remember the other thing they combo with that, but Static Shiv's big on Senna right now. Amasu, Cryogen, Yon, and Corey JJ. Just because they're the ones picking doesn't mean that that's the type of champ that's going to be picked, because they might have already. No, they can switch. They can trade. That's how the solo queue versus pro scene is a little bit different. A Nico, a Tanglebarbs, Pop Blossom, can't remember W, and then there's the clone, which I don't think is the specific name for her W, but it is what it is. There's passives to remember. There's Qs, Es, Ws, and Rs. Ultimates. Super smashing. They picked the Jarvan for Huzie Diodo, a pretty good early jungler, applying pressure without needing his ult, but it does help. And then Morgan's on a tank, a super popular Scion pick, which doesn't get banned very often, but does get picked very often. And so there you have it. There's the draft. Let me check in on the stream itself, not the one I'm watching, but the one I am broadcasting. Start sending us your video from your streaming service to go live. Well, let's see here if I need to do anything different on YouTube. So I thought I did. Whatever. It is what it is. It's either working or it's not. I gotta trust that OBS is doing its thing. Okay. Alright, well, like I said, just gotta trust that it's doing its thing. Well, I got a little bit of Chance the Rapper in my ears currently, so, you know. I am dead airing here and there, but you best believe that it would be either me singing a song or dead air, and I don't think people would have potentially clicked on this to hear Chance the Rapper, so, even if it's a great artist. Hmm. So, they're getting started. The first game in the series of five is either going to be a good old sweep or a battle to game five. You know, sometimes reverse sweeps happen, sometimes it's backs and forths, but we'll see. And this is a very earthly game because you know they got the blue for the water, Team Liquid, and they got the green for the flying through the air, which is oxygenated by the green trees. So Griffin's got a little bit of a ward action going on in jungle, in the liquid jungle. And so that means they're going to be probably fighting over some raptors this game. That's going to be interesting. Of course, they're all just kind of facing off. Red and blue start for Liquid and Flyquest respectively. Oh, apparently this is Raz's match of the week. Anywho, it looks like it's a pretty even bot push so far. Maybe a little Flyquest aggression, can't quite tell. Not an expert, I am. And then, of course, I think early Cassiopeia wins the lane in the quad versus quid dynamic. I don't know specifically those summoners, but the champs. And then, similarly, it should be a Jace. Oh, they're talking about something in the stream I am not listening to. But yeah, Jace is pushing Scion, so it's just what happens when you got a range advantage. Looks like they're putting some tongues with their sportscasting graphics. And so, looks like both junglers are making their way through their jungle. They both have got their top camps cleared. Probably going to be some action in the bottom lane in about a minute or two. Maybe not. It's pretty common. Yeah, looks like Flyquest is getting a big time push on Team Liquid. Showing that aggressive style that has been known to make Lions say that Flyquest is their least favorite team to play against because they're so aggressive. Whether that makes them predictable or not, you be the judge. As a fourth seed, they are needing to punch up. But yeah, AD carries are kind of volatile, so it's good for Team Liquid and Yawn and Core JJ that there was no kills early for the Israel and Nico, but fighting in the top lane is a little more interesting. I would feel like the Jace would be getting more damage down, but you know, these pros know what they're doing. Even in a ranged versus melee fight, they are keeping pressure. And now we got two Nocturnes coming out of the base for Team Flyquest, because of course you better believe that there's just one bottom laner in bot with a Nico on their team. Of course you got to keep an eye on that type of stuff. There could even be an extra minion in the wave, and that would be a dangerous prospect if you get pop blossomed out of nowhere for Team Liquid. But yeah, that pressure, the Nocturne clone pressure is no longer there as it is Nico being Nico in the bottom lane again. And in the mid lane, there's seeming to be a bit of a standoff as they're about to reach their level 6, you know, within a minute or two. And there was not that scuffle I suspected would occur in the bottom lane. I guess they were playing it safe. I would have expected it from Team Liquid, if anybody, since Fly was pushed up. And just checking in on his mid laner Griffin is, and not going for Raptors, but a little counter gank action going on here. So who's it going to be? They going to flash in on Quid? No. Oh, yes, actually. So Flash is blown by Quad, and that means Jose Diodo had some damage. Not going to kill him. No kill threat, but damage put out. Now it's just a jungle switch. I guess Quid gets an extra CS or whatever. Is Quad going to be able to get all of those CS from the turret? Maybe. But nobody died, and that's, I guess, kind of what matters. Kind of. They like bloodbaths in this gaming scene. It's not exactly a, you know, Barbie game. It is a little more poppy playtime style. And here we got a little bit of Nico, not Ezreal, getting jumped on by Rakan, and it turns out that there's another Ezreal again. I wonder which one's which. And both Flyquest solo laners have gone back, and they are returning now. And Quad is. And no, only Sion, only Morgan's got his ult so far. And I guess Quid did just pop over to having a shockwave. But nonetheless, there's no bloodshed yet, but there's a significant lead for Flyquest in the gold department at least. Mostly between Masu and Gakkos, but it's... I'm thinking the late game is pretty strong for Team Liquid with the Shockwave, the Soul Furnace, and the Cataclysm. And the Quickening, really. Jan being able to stay safe from a Petrifying Gaze, or a Nocturne ult, or a Pop Blossom with Zarya's ult. That'd be, the best way to stay safe. But the Petrifying Gaze would be hard to dodge. And now Moss is just trying to catch all these creeps that are dying to the turret. Keeping the pressure on. Yon and Core JJR. Jungler's just doing their things. They haven't even taken a dragon yet. Not terribly surprising. I think it spawns at 5 minutes. Minute and a half of the Chemtech dragon being on the rift. But yeah, they're both in the top lane jungle, so I guess dragon's off the table for a minute or two. And they're kind of hovering. Looks like maybe getting some pings on the mid lane, so looks like there's about to be some explosions of mid lane magic and jungle damage. With Core JJ hovering, I'd favor Liquid on this one. And it looks like Quad is yep, he's getting his no flash punish, but he has the Petrifying Gaze, and Nocturne's flying in. Gonna get one back, maybe. And yeah, makes it an even 1-for-1, pretty surprisingly. I guess not surprisingly, but when you see a Cassiopeia without flash inside of a Cataclysm with 2 others attacking, they were lucky, essentially, that enough damage put down on Quad that Quid got, had that backwards, that the other solo laner gets a kill back. Or, I guess, Nocturne. An assist for that solo laner. And they're putting that pressure on the bot lane too. The Flyquest bot is, of course, no Pop Blossom yet, but there's a True Shot Barrage in the cards, especially if Jan has gotten low enough, and it looks like he just might. But that being said, Jose Diodo is hovering, so I'm expecting a True Shot here in a second, but there it is, yeah. And so, as expected, they're kind of just playing with fire here. Cryogen is. Masu's just, doing his thing. Okay, maybe it's actually Team Liquid who's playing with fire because they're staying. But there is no True Shot Rush, so that's good. And I guess Griffin had blown his Paranoia recently, so there's that. And now we're getting some 80 carry stats and a replay on that skirmish in mid lane, so you get to see the Petrifying Gaze hit 3. Does it stun 3, though? I wonder. Oh, there's a Flash Cataclysm as well. Also, no, it was a Petrifying Gaze on 2. But that is what ends up killing Orianna, so it's good enough that they got some sort of action back. But more assist gold for Core JJ, so, and Liquid. What's he saying? What's the young blood Fly, the jungler, Griffin, gotta say? Last year, it was Inspired, who was Flyquest's jungler, but now he's staying on top of his game in Lion, and they're on the top half of the bracket, if I'm not mistaken. So, whoever wins this game will be in finals against the winner of that Lion and Cloud9 game. And Pop Blossom seems kind of wasted there, but, they secured the second grub, which means if they get all 3 of the next ones, they'll have the buff of, the sieging grub, or grubs, whatever. I'm not seeing any quote-unquote MasterCard power spikes yet. So nobody's gotten their first item yet, but everybody on the Rift's got their ult now, and the closest is Gakkos with 2 levels away from his level 2 ultimate. So, and both Tellys and Flashes are up for top lane, so, well, actually all sums are up except for Flash for Jose Dioto. Oh, and there goes that TP for Gakkos. And heal's also down for Core JJ. True Shot Barrage is just flying in the bot lane for some reason. I guess he was checking to see if they were recalling. Could have gone for a dragon. And it looks like all 5 are here for, or 4 are here for Team Liquid, but 3 are here. There's no mid laner for Fly. Are they going to be able to... Oh, it was stolen by Griffin, so that's good. Is he going to get away with his life? He does flash away. But Morgan teleported in, so they're going to want to get more out of this. That's for sure. That being said, Orianna Quid is having to teleport away. Gotta cover Gakkos' push on the plates of the top lane turret. So it looks like just a generic lane swap since they didn't manage to secure the dragon. And so the stacking starts for Flyquest. Good job on Griffin. Yep. Was Oh no, he wasn't able to CC him fast enough, or maybe he used a spell shield to avoid CC one way or another. Let's see if he did. No? Okay, yeah, he avoids being knocked up after securing the dragon, but looks like Core JJ failed to CC him fast enough to secure the dragon over the smite fight. And now it looks like Flyquest's off to a significant lead, almost 1,000 gold and a dragon. And 2 grubs. I know grubs aren't super important apparently, according to whoever. Mostly the casters, I guess. I don't really play solo queue ranked or anything like that. It's been a long time since I've played Summoner's Rift in general. But I do know TFT and what it was like to play before, I think, 2023 was when I stopped playing any ranked. 2022 maybe. But it's still an interesting scene, if you ask me. At least it's something I enjoy kind of having on the side while I'm crafting or leveling Pokemon on the new old port to the Switch, the 3rd gen Kanto region. But Jose Dioto is the only one with a gold lead for Flyquest, or for Team Liquid against Flyquest, so like it's looking rough for them, but not out of reach. Definitely there's going to be a mid-game power spike with all of their level 2 ults and stuff like that. Just a little skirmishing in the bot lane Flyquest jungle. Quad's on a ward. Probably suspects that's possible, but now he's playing his cards since he's got Nico in his back pocket. Oh, and there's the Essence Shift or whatever it's called. Oh, he had to get out with a flash, so it's a flash secured for Jose Dioto, but Masu does have the shift. What is it? Is it called? Arcane Shift. I don't know. Essence Flux Arcane Shift and Mystic Shot, right? I feel like the W is something different. Essence Flux is what the passive is called. Anyways, it is what it is. Is what it is. Oh, okay. So the first items have started coming out, like Storm Razor for Zaya, Trinity Force for Masu, Israel. There's a Rod of Ages stacking for Cassiopeia, Sundered Sky for Jose Dioto, Unending Despair for Morgan on Scion, and Serpent's Fang for the for the Soul Furnace shields that Morgan's pumping out in the top lane. So no full items finished for the supports yet, but that's pretty normal. And I guess Arcane or the Archangel staff for Quid is also stacking. So lots of stacking going on here. Looks like both teams are kind of banking on late game. Flyquest's got a little bit of a lead, still maintaining it at least. In case anybody was curious, I was thinking I was going to just straight up read champion abilities and stuff like that for in between the interim between games because I'd like to do this for the entire series, but I know it's not going to be interesting to sit here and look at a loading screen for the next game essentially. So I'm just going to kind of do my best to read and think and talk and all the superlatives or whatever. Might be the wrong use of that word, but whatever. Looks like the grubs. Is that the Herald? That's the Herald. Yeah. Nobody got the second set of grubs. So I think they're going to fight over this Herald since Hosodiota's there. But he is kind of isolated between 5 members of Fly. I think he's got to get out. There's 2 tellies coming in, though. Are they going to steal it? Yeah, they secured it, actually. Flyquest did. But a bit of a shockwave Scion ult combo got Flyquest out of it. But not like away from it, but out of the fight. And so, yeah, Team Liquid secured a significant swing in the gold. So now FlyQuest is a little bit behind and didn't get the Herald, and it was summoned immediately too. So okay, so wait, FlyQuest just wasted the Herald. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. They got it, which was nice, but they didn't disengage successfully. So we'll see it again. I wonder what they could have done differently. I'm no expert, but it looks like after securing it, oh, it was a knock up from Core JJ into a Scion delivery of the ball, and the mixture of Core JJ and ults from the solo laners. Yeah, Team Liquid absolutely eviscerated that pair and made the fight much easier for the 5v3. Game's not over though. Although a lot of ults were blown, they'll be up soon, and Pop Blossom might even be able to be utilized between then and now. Now and then? Probably not. In fact, yeah, Corgi is just backing now. Or Cryogen. They both C name supports. Don't know what to tell you. It's a little more distinguishing than Quad and Quid, though. To be fair, though, I may not be very good at recognizing the difference between their characters, but, like, I don't cast these games ever. This is my first time doing that, so surely their characters are more known by Jat and Kobe and Azael and Emily and Raz and I'm trying to think of the other guy's name. Guy looks like Braum. I'm sorry. Sorry, I got music playing. Thought it might help. Maybe it was good for my morale, but not perfect for my ADD. Kangas? Yeah. I get it mixed up with Kangaskhan from Pokemon because that's what I've been playing a little bit of. And yeah, Pop Blossom's coming in only going to get the 80 carry? I can't even tell. But Oriana is dying. Looks like Quid's out of the fight. Fly has secured kill. Will they be able to convert it into a tower in the bot lane? Maybe, but there's still fighting going on. Looks like Nocturne's down and out. Core JJ's most likely going to get away. So it looks like it's a 1-for-1. Jungle for mid lane. Makes me think that there might... Nope, no objectives are on the map, so I don't think that Hosodiota's is going to be able to do anything other than push... Well, have his team push lanes. He's backing. Morgan having a free top lane push is... yeah, because Gakko's had to teleport. Might get a plate or two, so that's extra gold and Scion. I believe kills went to Hosodioto and Griffin. I don't know. Yeah, looks like kills are mostly on Griffin, and he's still got honestly the largest deficit. So it looks like Hosodioto's just being the better jungler at the moment. It seems like. That was almost a good snipe on Saya for Masu. But it is what it is, Kill not secured. I wonder how Cryogen's got such a high gold differential between Core JJ and himself. It's not like it's going to amount to much, most likely, right? I don't know. Yep, looks like Flyquest is taking a significant amount of fights and objectives, and they're being the proactive team, but Counterplay seems to be on the side of Team Liquid, and then there's Nocturne with a Paranoia going in on the Oriana, but it seems to disengage pretty easily, dodge the Shockwave. It's all good. Yep, yep, and Baron's on the map, 20 minutes in. Yep, looks like mid laner versus top laner for Fly and Team Liquid, and I take it back. Scion's moving up to the tri-bush. And is that a tri-bush? I think it might be a tri-bush, technically. Whatever. I think this is a tri-bush on the turret side of each tier 2 for all 4 quadrants. Quadrants, excuse me. But yeah, looks like it's kind of dark in the jungle for Fly right now. Looks like Team Liquid's got all the vision coverage, so it's looking pretty one-sided so far. It'd have to be pretty good. I don't know if Masu's gonna be able to secure that or get away. Yep, good flash, good flash. Flash for the, ooh, a nice dodge by Yon. But yeah, getting that flash from Masu is going to be good for Team Liquid. All it costed was Scion ult and Core JJ ulted too, but I don't know what that did. Oh boy. Just a spooky little invisible Scion Q to knock out Courage and didn't really accomplish much, but they're moving on. He's going to reset, probably to spend some money or something. Now we're seeing the first items coming out for the sports, Rocket Belt and the Locket of the Iron Solari. Second item's coming out for almost every other member of the game, except for Morgan, who's still working on a second. Mana Mune and Serpent's Fang for Gecko still. A Mana Mune also for Masu. But there is the Seraphine. I don't know, I'm just thinking mana. Etc. Excuse me, I digress. It's kind of seeming like it's a bit of a stagnant moment in the game. Like Baron's on the map and no team's got enough power play to go for it, I guess. They don't have the confidence or knowledge that they can. It's getting spooky though. Masu is definitely the target for Team Liquid. And there goes Jose Dioto in the middle of him after the kill of the turret. He's going to Cataclysm out of Cryogen. But, the Pop Blossom hit 3. So, Core JJ gets chunked up by the Tree Shot Barrage. Jose Dioto's going back with his team. But it looks like 2's already down. Is it a 1 for 2? Nope. Not yes. It is. It is a 1 for 3 for 2, actually. I take it back. And then Team Liquid, are they going to fight back? Because they are pretty low. Masu's most likely going to die. Yep, there goes Masu. It's a 3 for 3. Really even fight, but, I mean, only support and jungle, all the damage for Flyquest died in that fight. So I guess they also died for Team Liquid, except for Jose Dioto, who's kind of a carry at this point. So it's a close one. It's a close one, but it's not a very close one. Flyquest is not out, but they are down. It's one of those. But yeah, that's a big Pop Blossom. True, and a Rocket Belt into it. Core JJ got chunked out but didn't die. Shockwave hit nothing. Core JJ can't get away. Yon can. And that is. It's kind of a messy fight, but I mean, what isn't, when it comes to these team fights? I may play team fight tactics, but I cannot easily tell you every little thing that happened. And, some would argue that you shouldn't be able to. Like, some of that stuff's forgettable enough. But yeah, the good 3-person Pop Blossom. Yeah, see, even Rainbow Crash 69 said it. But yeah, apparently some things are more notable than others. Doesn't discount the value of the small things that were said, but to some extent they just play the part that the stage stealing plays demand, I guess. So yeah, it is what it is. Might be my mantra at the end of the day. It can always be what you don't expect. Like, for instance, maybe this is just the first game of a 5-game series? It kind of seems like it would be with how close the game is so far. Oh, big shockwave on 2 or 3. So Jose Diodo might not get away, but everybody's really low on Flyquest. So yeah, Cryogen's taken out by Quid. Gakkos does not secure the kill on Dion. Team Liquid, they survive. Take out 2. They're just kind of snowballing their lead a little bit. It's not looking good for Flyquest. They got all their eggs in the wrong baskets, it seems. Gecko's, although trying to maintain some sort of semblance of control, it's not really happening, I guess. Granted, I do put a lot of value in the gold differentials. Yeah, Baron's being taken by Team Liquid. True Shot Barrage does not steal it, so that's one less possibility, and it's just secured. That's all. That is it. Morgan's almost level 18, which I think is not the max anymore for top laners. I think level 20 is. Maybe 19, though. That's a big shockwave. Masu may have got away from it, but he still took the damage for it. Doesn't even secure the kill onto Jose Diodo, unfortunately. Morgan was too imposing. And then Gakkos didn't realize Zaya still had ult, I guess. Is that Spawn? I can't remember the names of the different coaches, except Golden Glue is very recognizable. Think Hard is pretty recognizable too, I suppose. Anyways, at least Gakkos is getting a turret. You know, that's something for Flyquest. They do have 2 dragons, but it's not a perfect dragon secure rate at the moment, so who it's going to be that's going to shut up all these tiny little, constellations. So it doesn't matter how you get to that victory unless, you know, unhonorable, I guess. It doesn't really matter. Let's see here. Earlier this season, I was like, my team is good enough to carry me, and there's a fight. It doesn't even matter. Who cares about that quote in? I'm no auctioneer, but it does seem like another big pop blossom. Nocturne staying in the fight, secures a kill, dies for it, but Jose Diodo might die for it too. Nope. Okay, Team Liquid's kind of steamrolling a little bit. Morgan's still got a full health bar. Gakkos is down. Only 2 left alive for Flyquest. This isn't looking good for them. This is the whole story I've been saying. Slowly but surely, they have secured a significant gold lead, not just from the Baron secure, but from the Buffett supplies. But yeah, as they popped up that quote, it pops Paranoia and goes in. And it's so, I don't know, I feel like health bars in League of Legends are overpowered because as soon as Nico goes in without the big health bar, like it's possible to get a huge pop blossom. That being said, it didn't really affect the end results. Like, Team Liquid was pretty handedly able to deal with that, so it is what it is. I even said it again. I don't know if I need to stop saying it, but I am noticing that I say it a lot. Now that I'm streaming myself saying it a lot. Maybe it's a part of my identity since I say it so much whenever I'm assuming that people are watching, even if I'm not checking the, number of people who would be or could be. Okay, well, Yon died with a Baron buff, I guess, and now they all lost it. So, see, I can't stop seeing Yon's name as AWN instead of EON, but Eon doesn't have the same ring to it since I hear these casters say Yon all the time. And it looks like they're kind of lining up here for some sort of fight in mid lane. I mean, dragons, barons, neither of the objectives are going to be on the map anytime soon, so it's probably just going to be a controlling of the jungle for Team Liquid and a siege on their tier 2s and 3s. But Monster's dealing a lot of damage, but it's not really amounting to a lot. I guess that's just because they have more tanky members on Team Liquid side. Kind of unfortunate for Flyquest. I mean, I guess technically I would be cheering for them, but you know, when I'm watching, I have more of a passive investment. But this is, I guess, more of an active investment. So I'm not saying that necessarily means I want Team Liquid to win, but it's good to hear it. One way or another. Like if I were to shoutcast this, and then 6 months later, they're at Worlds and Team Liquid is on a really good roll, I'm gonna feel proud of myself and be like, I helped. Where was I when Team Liquid was securing the confidence to be the best in the world, or quarterfinal contestants? It is what it is. SOCKS. I even say that sometimes because I once saw a post that said like, "Oh, that's Spanish for is it is what it is," and it sounds like socks, so it was easy to remember. Okay, yeah. So summoner spells are still on the board for Team Liquid, but the damage threats only Griffin and Quad have it. Gakkos and Masus are going to be up soon, but I don't know if Gakkos is going to be able to do enough damaging to the turrets to make Team Liquid worry, but getting an extra turret's going to be nice for Fly, catching up a little bit in the gold department, even if it's not seeming likely. You never know. I guess that's why I say it is what it is sometimes and move on, because when people say you never know, is that more true than it is what it is? I think that's a good question. Well, 0 deaths from both jungle and top lane for Team Liquid. And they always do this, like, player of the game segment after the games in these. So I'm like, of course, you'd look at the score and be like, oh, I guess Jose Dioto is definitely the player of the game. But at the same time, like, I wouldn't really be able to remember that if it weren't for the score line. So something's about to go down mid lane, though, because Baron is up, and so they're posturing. They're ready to start potentially taking it. Oh, but I was wrong. The clone was being not the face check. Oh, and there goes Cordy JJ onto. Oh, Masu's dead. That's immediate. I think this is a Team Liquid victory immediately, essentially. Yeah, they're going to go for Baron and win the game. I think this one's over, to be honest. It would be cool to see some sort of acceleration gate, shock blast, steal, but no, I don't expect it. I ain't holding my breath. Let's see. I guess I shouldn't assume that this game's over, but I'm already trying to look forward to. Do I want to do another one of these for the entire series? Actually, now that I'm done with the first one, I'm not, but in theory, because like I want to see it be a battle, but at the same time, some parts of me are lazy and just want to go back to whatever else I was doing, especially if nobody was watching. But this is a game of waves, not just in terms of minions and uh, gold roller coaster graphs, but there's lots of statistics involved and lots of dynamics at play. It is literally a play, although a video game where agency is expressed and portrayed, it's also a bit of a staged situation where chaos theory is in full display. Like there's just things are happening, and it's got to do with this and that. And yeah, there goes Jose Dioto on Amasu, but it didn't really amount to much. It didn't kill him, but it chunked him out, and he didn't even take that much damage. They got the inhibitor. They're going down for the tier 3 turret in front of the inhibitor. Flyquest's gonna have to defend. Pop Blossom gets onto Yon, but he just wasted his ult. He is gonna die. Can they do much with that? Flyquest, they did take out Orianna. Morgan's by himself right there amongst 5. Yeah, so Morgan's going down too. A pretty good defense for Flyquest. They might even do something with this. This is looking promising. They're going to empower to recall back so that they don't lose too much. Jose Dioto still got the deathless score. Good for him. Good for his team. Well, now that they lost a lot of their Baron buffs, not good. That being said, they got the inhibitor and they kept 2 of the Baron buffs, but they are down a significant amount of gold, and yeah, and bad play for Team Liquid apparently, but maybe it was a good play for Flyquest. I don't know. Yeah, looks like it's not a complete loss for Team Liquid, but it is a hopeful surge of confidence for Flyquest. Mostly has to do with Jose Dioto not killing Mossy right here, I think. Yeah. Oh, the shockwave missed. I didn't even notice the shockwave. That's crazy. So I think after that they should have bailed, but Morgan was like, "I'm gonna kill the snake." Doesn't work. Pop Blossom hits Yon, and that's where it's over. I think, because the secured the consistent damage of the AD carry not being there. That was they were dead to rights after Yon was dead, especially since Shockwave had been burned. Jose Dioto ain't that much of a carry. All right. Well, let's see. A lot of sums burned on FlyQuest, but you know that'll be up before you know it. Their inhibitors will respawn unless they lose the game. Lots of power spikes in the item departments coming out for both teams. I don't think anybody's at max. Uh, Jose Dioto's getting close. He's got one more item left. But bottom inhibitors under siege. Uh, Griffin and Flies just hoping to do something. Maybe get another pick onto Yon. Zaya's not perfectly safe, but the ult is a safety switch, and they're going in on Quad, who I guess didn't have flash from the last fight. Ozidioto's GA gets popped. Quad does not die. Pop Blossom onto a few. It looks like Team Liquid's fumbling a little bit. Flyquest is fighting back. Morgan's still alive. Griffin's GA's not nullified. He survives. In fact, Morgan died, and so now it's a 1-for-2. It wasn't even for Team Liquid. So yeah, Flyquest's defending significantly. They did have their dragon stacking stopped a long time ago, so it's still a point for Team Liquid, but yikes. This is just a big yikes. I mean, nice that the shockwave has got onto quad, excuse me, but like, did they? Okay, they killed Griffin. Who did they kill? Because it was a 1-for-2, right? Oh, it was Gakkos at the beginning of the fight. I'm just being blind. Excuse me. Excuse me. Interesting stuff, though, for sure. The gold is slowly swinging towards Fly. Masu's dealing a lot of damage. This is looking like Masu's doing out of his mind work for the extended team fights with Quid just hoping to hit one person with a shockwave when he should be hitting the whole team for the end of the game. Like, that's the goal. Kind of grasping at straws, Team Liquid is. But when you're this close to setting the tone for this 5-game series, lots on the line. Can't be too judgmental, but they are a top competitive team. Competing, that's the word. Yeah, apparently they are the scrim team, so they might have a bit of a stage nerves issue. I don't know. Well, this is still point. Team Liquid's on it. They're burning it down pretty quick. Paranoia was dropped. They just want to make them disengage. They succeed. Dragon is still alive, but they are doing some damage to Morgan. Doesn't matter. Soul is acquired as an Infernal Soul. That's going to be... Team Liquid, it's going to be happy with that. They're going to Baron. Flyquest is disengaging. They didn't even lose anybody, but they did waste 2 pretty big ults. So they're probably just going to have to defend against another Baron wave. They just got to hope that they get desperate. Team Liquid gets desperate in their base again. But they're professionals. Team Liquid did not fumble so bad that they lost the game earlier. It was just a bit of a hiccup so far. They've got a positive Baron power play so far. Are they going to be able to keep it this time? Big damage onto Yon. Doesn't even have any lifesteal, so that is significant. Quad is doing damage to Morgan. It's isolated. Could still get Petrifying Gaze if he tries to TP away. And he's ulting away. It doesn't even matter. An ult wasted just to get away from that sticky spider. Excuse me, that's a snake. You know what I'm trying to say. Quad does not go in on all of them. Definitely a point of power, though, for Flyquest, but Gakkos is the one with the gold lead. This is looking like one of them's. A long game. It is almost 40 minutes. I think the longest league game is like up to 70 minutes professionally. I could be wrong, maybe 65. But if all of the games were this long, I could be doing this until 8 o'clock. For reference, I'm pretty sure it's only 350, yeah. I am not much of a talker on most occasions. Yeah, I'm like more of a Troy Boy BIA. And that's just the tone, that's just the headphones up in my brain. So, I'm just showing my personal colors a little bit while I'm watching this quite colorful end game to this Flyquest Team Liquid first game series in the series. Because the entire first game is seemingly Liquid's, but Flyquest has been making it difficult for them. They've been on the back foot the whole time, it seems. And there goes Core JJ immediately into some crazy stuff. Or is that Cryogen? I don't know. That's what happens when you're looking at reading instead of knowing. And then, yeah, no, Team Liquid is kind of steamrolling a little bit. It is what it is. Looks like Quad is going to have the entire world on his back if he's going to defend this. No, never mind. It's 1 versus 5. Um, I don't think this is ever going to be a victory for real, for real. Yeah, the odds are often like 5, 6 sig figs deep into the percent, if that makes sense. It's percent. That was a loss. I don't know. Well, I am curious. So Team Liquid wins game one. I am curious if I can even see my own stream on another device because I tried to go to the YouTube um, stream studio thingy, and although it says stop streaming, it is streaming on OBS. I don't know for sure, so I'm just gonna take a real quick gander at that, because me, I'm just not always able to see my own stuff or hear my own stuff. Okay, yeah, sure enough. Okay, well, it is just me listening, watching, having a good old time. But you know what? I don't think that this is something I'll be doing a lot, but it was cool that I did it last week. I thought to myself I could do that again this week, and then I actually did do it. There were thoughts of I wasn't going to, but I had a good time doing it. I actually understood the people's, some of their names a little bit more than last time. I don't know LEC nearly as well. I'm an American. So it is what it is. In case you were curious, this is the kind of stuff I recommended. Have a great day, everybody. I love you. I'm logging off. Bye bye.